Something extraordinary is happening in Mexico. Tens of thousands of members of Generation Z are taking to the streets and demanding that their leftist government give in to President Trump and do exactly what he is urging them to do. To crush the drug cartels that are destroying their country once and for all. On November 15, thousands of protesters led by Gen Z activists stormed Mexico City in one of the largest demonstrations in many years. The target of their protest was not the United States or some globalist organization, but rather their own government's inability to eliminate the massive influence of drug cartels among politicians. An influence that has allowed these international syndicates to kill more than 100,000 Mexicans since 2019 alone.
I would call what is happening the Trump effect. The cartels have killed 100,000 Mexicans in recent years. They do whatever they want. Everyone is terrified of them. The country is run by drug lords and drug princes, and the government is afraid to take any action against these criminals. I don't know, there are huge organizations there. Billions of dollars are moving around. In reality, the people of the country had no way out. Well, here it is. It appeared, it was found, it was proposed by Trump. The United States Army, special forces, and intelligence agencies are destroying laboratories, warehouses, infrastructure, and transport on Mexican territory, operating not only along the border but also deep within the territory and space of Mexico. Fearing for their lives, the Mexican government categorically rejected military assistance and United States intervention. Trump proposed to eliminate all cartel leadership, as well as all facilities involved in drug production.
These protesters are demanding exactly the political measures that Trump is currently implementing and are increasingly openly calling on President Trump to provide assistance.
And we are asking the United States government, listen, Trump, listen, do you see? Come, help us, and please, get rid of all this filth from Mexico. Remove Obrador, remove Claudia Sheinbaum.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. As always.
It took something terrible to rouse the people. And then it all poured out. It's important that the church, thank you, the church supported us, said, that's it, enough, stop, we want to live a normal life. Trump supported the protesters.
Would I strike Mexico because of drugs? I'm fine with that. Whatever we have to do to stop the drugs. Mexico, I watched Mexico City this weekend. There are major problems there. Would we do there what we did with our waterways if necessary? Almost no drugs are coming in.
Will they strike Mexico if they keep sending drugs here? Yes, said Trump. No doubt. So no one is bringing drugs to us by water anymore. Because one by one we destroyed the means of that transportation. They don't want to sail anymore. We need them to stop wanting to fly, run, jump, or crawl. Editor Daguma needs all sorts of laughter. They've already stood up. Let's say a lot fewer drugs are appearing.
A 50% reduction in fentanyl seizures compared to last year. Trump's border closure and Sheinbaum's deployment of hundreds of soldiers against the Sinaloa cartel, the world's largest fentanyl producer, dealt a devastating blow to cross-border drug trafficking. Murders in Mexico actually decreased by 24% over 9 months under Sheinbaum. More than 32,000 crime suspects were arrested, thousands of drug labs were dismantled, and over 245 tons of drugs were seized. But despite this, the murder of that mayor a few weeks ago was a harsh reminder of the power and influence that the cartels still have over Mexican society. We need to understand that Mexican drug cartels have essentially become a parallel government. They possess enormous power that rivals and often even surpasses the authority of official government institutions. This isn't just about Mexico. It's happening across Latin America. I remember when I was in Sao Paulo in 2017 in Brazil, and my guide and I were driving through the city, and he pointed to a huge residential complex that was under construction at the time, and he said to me, "See, this is all social housing. Basically, it's free housing for people." And all of this was built by drug lords. So the cartels are basically buying people's loyalty. They provide housing and services that their government, their corrupt governments, constantly fail to provide. So drug cartels operate with literally hundreds of billions of dollars. Again, many drug lords and their operations can have more resources than their local governments. And they create parallel societies, often just as powerful, if not more powerful, than their civil governments. And
that's what's happening right now as you watch this video.
Look, that's the presidential palace. That's a big building, man. They're trying to get inside, and it looks like, oh, that guy is carrying a machete. Wow, that's intense. And you can't hear any sirens because apparently all the police are here. Like, this is where everything is happening. This is crazy. These rioters just won't stop. Oh, they're coming again. They're going back there. Wow, the crowd seems to attack from one side, then regroup and go again. Look, they're kind of cornering the police, and the police are throwing stones back. And now they've managed to get to those very barriers that were set up to keep them out. And they've got an angle grinder. They won't take no for an answer. They'll cut through that steel, break through that barrier, or climb over it. Look at this. This is madness. And look, there are slogans all over this Berlin Wall that the Mexican government put up to protect itself. Probably. Look, they're shaking it, trying to bring it down. Many Mexicans are upset about cartel influence in their country. They don't get fair treatment if corruption dictates to their government how to treat them. Shoo, I don't know if this will work. They didn't let San Francisco throw anything in there. Yeah, they throw all sorts of stuff in here, and now fine. They use gas for crowd control to disperse people. Oh, they've breached the barrier is down. Oh, this is terrible, they're going inside. They're going inside? Yeah, he's calling them in. Whoa, that pipe just hit that guy's shield. They're throwing something. All right, now they've got barriers and they're going to drag them in here. Subtitles. Wow, this is insane. It's just absolutely wild. There's a breakthrough. You can see the police there with riot shields. People are filming this, making TikToks. There are so many clips of this online. It's just incredible how many people recorded it. What's interesting is that it's like people knew this protest was going to happen. Right. Now, I guess that's on the other side of the steel barricades. Yeah, look, now they're trying to break through the special purpose mobile unit phalanx and actually get inside the presidential palace. It just doesn't stop. The rioters are persistent. They have bicycle helmets and are prepared to act. Wow, they're charging at the shields. This is just bad news. This is just bad news. Overall, it's bad news. Dude, because you know there's going to be a brutal crackdown. What? Oh, I just heard an explosion. I think the only question is, who should we expect the crackdown from? From the people of Mexico against their government. Look, that guy has a chain. All right. Now more and more people are trying to climb over that barrier. I suppose the gas they're using, well, maybe it's not that big of a problem. It seems like it doesn't deter the crowd at all, just like in Portland, Oregon, in the United States, where it doesn't deter either the crowds or the gatherings. It's so crazy. It's crazy to think that something like this is happening in a country that has been governed the same way for so long, and this is part of it. There are people in Mexico who are encouraged by President Trump's stance against the cartels and the idea that these cartels are harmful to Mexico, and that closing the United States border deprives them of power and takes away their strength, the power they maintain in the safe havens of Mexico, where even their own military can't enter. And defeat. Oh, now they've removed more of the wall. Wow, what's happening? They're doing exactly the same thing. They have a crowd control barrier there. Oh, there's smoke coming from there, man. It was red. It's probably some kind of chemical, an irritant for dispersing the crowd, but it's not working. You see all the slogans written on this fence as if they were written in advance about this riot. All right, look, that one is coming in. Yes, now he's leaving, and this one is throwing something. It's just madness, man. You know, it's so hard to understand. How do you achieve a peaceful resolution in a conflict where both sides think they're just fighting each other, where people think they're fighting their own government? All right, what's happening? They seem to be pulling another section of the fence to make the breach wider, and maybe that's why, so everyone can rush in here at once. This is insane. This is insane.
The president of Mexico is absolutely furious. She's calling. Of course, Mexican Senator Lili Tellez is a traitor. She was with me on Fox Noticias a few days ago and said this: serve day.
United States assistance in fighting the cartels in Mexico is absolutely welcome, and most Mexicans feel the same way. The only ones who don't like that President Trump is sending help and trying to support Mexicans against the cartels are politicians, including President Sheinbaum.
That's right.
The senator risked her life to give this interview on Fox News, and she gave 2 such interviews. And every time she speaks, she tells how the people of Mexico no longer tolerate the corruption of the government in their country.
Is Mexico a state or something?
Yes, that's right.
And all of us Mexicans know about this, and Mexicans are wary of the alliance between the Mexican government and the cartels that have overrun our country. Explain the alliance between the president, her party, the Morena party, and the cartels.
Yes, the party has finances.
The cartels gave so much money to these politicians so they could come to power and gain it.
Just like how corrupt business and foreign interests potentially influence how politicians think about certain issues in America. Only here we're talking about a criminal empire that doesn't want to help anyone but itself.
So they protect the Mexican government, they protect the cartels.
The Mexican government, the Mexican leadership gets huge amounts of money from the cartels and is afraid of the cartels. So they protect them. That's why they protect the cartels and not the country's citizens.
They illegally cut down forests and control agricultural supplies. So, again, this goes far beyond just drugs. It's literally a parallel government, and often just as powerful, if not more so, than their civil government. And the tragedy here is that cartel violence costs Mexico's economy hundreds of billions of dollars every year, which is about 18% of their total gross domestic product. So, aside from the direct violence that has killed more than 100,000 people since 2019,
we, the United States, want to stop the import of drugs into our country, the import of weapons, prostitutes, criminals from Mexico and through Mexico, from Venezuela, San Salvador, Guatemala, Colombia, and so on. We, the United States, want to trade, visit, drink tequila, and relax on the wonderful, amazing Mexican beaches. We want to explore the ruins of the Aztecs, the Olmecs, and marvel at the art of others. We want Mexican guitarists to come to us with concerts, and for neither us nor them to be afraid to walk around cities and landmarks in the evening. Of course, it's not our business to clean up their swamps, but their cartels pose an obvious danger to our youth. And we are ready to spend some of our resources to destroy, to break down, to destroy their operational base and remove those who need to be isolated so that the rest can live in peace. We gave hope to the youth of Mexico. Before Trump, they saw no way to deal with the problems called cartels. Not a single chance, zero, not one. Trump said, with me, you have a chance and a good chance to become a normal country. And young people, having lost hope of getting help from their government, from their army, from their police, demand that Trump and America be allowed to do what they themselves cannot do and will not be able to do if they act alone. Again and again, Trump gives the world hope to live a human life, a normal life, without wars, without killings, without violence. That's why he is hated by all those who want to control us and who want the instruments of violence to be in their hands only. No one else? That's all. Goodbye.